Hey guys, I hope 2014 has been treating you well so far. And now that we're getting into February, I think of February as basically the dead of winter and like the worst month in the entire year. Um, it's sort of one of those months where you feel winter will never end. And my skin has been really dry because of the weather, and I thought back to when I was using my Manuka Honey Scrub, which was part of my Empty slash Project Pan 2013, and how moisturized and soft it made my skin feel. So I thought about how I could incorporate honey into my everyday skincare, because honey is such a staple ingredient in basically every kitchen. Honey has a lot of really great properties to it that make it excellent for skincare. It's an antibacterial, it's an antifungal, it's a humectant, which means that it draws water from the air into your skin, so it helps your skin stay moisturized. It's really good for acne-prone skin as well. And honey generally is pretty soothing, so I did a little bit of experimenting with honey at home, and I have 3 recipes to share with you guys that sort of address different skin issues. The 3 recipes I'm going to share with you guys are a brightening honey lemon mask, a soothing oatmeal honey mask, and an exfoliating honey and baking soda mask. When I show you guys the recipes, I will give you little tips on how to alter the recipe to your own needs depending on your skin type and that sort of thing, or what you're looking for the mask to do. Before you get started, make sure you're not allergic to honey. That is really important because you will be putting this stuff on your face and other parts of your skin. And also, you probably want to tie your hair up if you're going to be using the mask right after you make it. I would actually recommend making these masks or applying these masks right before you enter the shower, because it can get messy. Actually, I would recommend probably doing these in the bathroom, especially the oatmeal one. That can get a little messy. Lastly, most of these masks are recommended to be left on for about 20 to 30 minutes. Alright, so let's get started. I'll be posting the recipes to each of these masks on my blog, which I'll link down below. If you have any leftovers, you should refrigerate them and use them up within a week's time. I use both raw honey and clover honey, and if you haven't heard of raw honey, it's minimally processed and may contain pollen and beeswax. It's lighter in color, a more solid texture, and has a more subtle flavor. Raw honey is generally thought to be better for you because it contains a higher concentration of the benefits of honey. If you think you may be allergic to honey, definitely stay away from raw honey. I also have your average clover honey here, which is darker in color and more fluid. It's also usually cheaper and easier to use. For the brightening honey and lemon mask, you'll need a teaspoon of lemon juice and 2 teaspoons of honey. Mix them together, and I'm using raw honey here because the juice of the lemon will help keep the mask spreadable, and I'll be using this on my face, which is an area I think will benefit from raw honey. You wouldn't want to use raw honey in anything that requires heat, because that would in effect cook the honey. You should apply this mask to a freshly washed face, but avoid applying this after you've used the scrub, waxed, or shaved for any guys out there. It will sting if you do. This mask is brightening because of the citric acid in the lemon juice. You can use lime juice too if you're out of lemons. Be sure to wear sunscreen if you plan on going out within 24 hours of applying this mask, because the lemon juice will make your skin more sensitive to the sun. The same properties that make your skin sensitive to the sun are the ones that'll brighten your complexion over time. Now, if you don't want to brighten but instead just soften your skin or soothe it, I'd recommend switching the lemon juice out for milk or yogurt. Add 1 teaspoon of milk or yogurt to the honey and mix well, and the lactic acid in the dairy products is supposed to soften, and dairy products contain alpha hydroxy acid, which will help exfoliate and remove dead skin. I heard it's supposed to be good for acne too. Now, if you want to turn the honey lemon mask into a scrub, just add a teaspoon of table sugar. You'll get a nicely grained scrub. You can omit the lemon juice and add sugar directly to the honey if you don't want the brightening effect. For the oatmeal honey mask, you'll need a teaspoon of ground oats.
I used just under a teaspoon of oats in my Magic Bullet blender until it turned powdery. If you don't have a blender, go ahead and use full-sized oats. It'll just be more exfoliating when you remove the mask. Basically, you want 1 part oats and 3 parts honey. I'm using clover honey here because the raw honey would make the texture too difficult to spread on the skin. Mix the oats and honey together until it forms a paste and apply it to your skin. The longer you let this mask set, the harder it'll become and the more difficult and messy it'll be to wash off. But that also means that you'll have to scrub a little harder to get the oats off, which will exfoliate your skin more. Definitely do this one in the shower if you can. Lastly, we have the honey and baking soda mask. Baking soda is really fine grained and makes a great exfoliant, but it definitely doesn't have the most pleasant smell. Unless you really like the smell of baking soda, I wouldn't use this on the face. I'll be using this as a foot mask and scrub, though it's probably a little too fine grained for rougher skin. So we need 1 part baking soda and 2 parts honey. I've chosen to use clover honey because I didn't want to waste raw honey on my feet. Mix the two together, and this is the part where it begins smelling kind of funky, like starchy fish. The texture is a little gummy, and I wouldn't recommend applying this on freshly scrubbed skin either. Again, if you'd like to see the recipes to any of these masks or all of these masks, I'll have the link to my blog down below.
Okay, so I hope that was both fun and informational for you guys. Let me know if you try any of these recipes and how it turned out for you, or if you use honey for different purposes or have any other recipes of your own. Other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions, and as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.